Well, a few years ago, my next guest was making good money as an engineer. Her life was set, or so she thought, until she was laid off. Then Aneshia Smith knew she had to redefine herself outside of what she did for a living and figure out how to rebuild her wealth. But it wasn't until she went to a financial seminar that she had an eye-opening revelation. Your financial situation is a reflection of your mindset. Now Aneshia is sharing what she's learned with thousands of other women through this ebook. It's called Wealth Wisdom for Ladies. Aneshia joins us this morning as part of our book author series. Good morning to you.
Good morning, Danielle. It's great to be here.
It's great to have you here. Now, from that seminar, you say you learned how to truly define financial freedom. Tell me about that, Aneshia.
Sure thing. Mainly, most of my experience has been based on making active income, meaning I was trading my time for money. And that's what most women are familiar with, like in the engineering field, which is my background as well, trading a certain amount of time to get paid a certain amount of money. One of the things I learned at the financial seminar was that it's really about passive income. And I had no idea what that meant until the speaker explained it. It basically means you're generating income regardless of what you're doing. A great example would be a vending machine, for instance. And so the person who owns a vending machine is not standing there when you go to pay, put your money in and get your snack. They're off doing whatever they're doing, but yet they're still pulling in passive income. So.
Now, why and how is mindset so important in all of this?
Well, the reason being, that's a great question. A lot of times you're thinking about you have to work 30, 40, 50 years in order to retire. And that was one of the things, one of the belief systems I had in place. And unfortunately, it was attracting to me certain opportunities that were not the best opportunities. And so once I shifted that to passive income, I started attracting to myself certain opportunities and tools that would help me generate passive income.
Talk to me a little more about the tools that you use.
Sure. My tool has actually been with the stock market. And basically, techniques I've been using based on a proven system I learned in the last 7 years. I've been trading and investing on my own behalf for 12 years altogether, but I've only been doing it well for 7. Right, because the first 5 years I floundered quite a bit. I got introduced to it with the 401k because of my engineering experience in the company I was working with. However, I didn't do all that great. And in fact, I got caught up in the 2000.com bust. And remember living in Atlanta, and I was driving down Buckhead, one of the most expensive areas in Atlanta. And I'm looking at these investment firms full with the parking garages, and I'm sitting there thinking, I lost half my money and they're still employed. So there's something they know that I don't. What is that? And so when I ask the question, it's one of those things when the student's ready, the teacher appears. And so that's when I got introduced to the system I've been using for the last 7 years.
Yeah, can you describe the system in a little more detail for me?
Sure. It basically answers 3 fundamental questions. The first one is what stock, what exchange-traded fund, or what mutual fund to select. So you build a watch list of certain companies. The second is when to buy, and the third is when to sell. So it really just removes the emotion out of trading. The average investor trades based on emotion. That's the reason why they don't do quite as well as I've been doing the past 7 years, because they don't have a proven system that says, hey, these are the things you need to follow. It takes your emotion out of it, and you just make wiser decisions.
Now, you said the first few years were not so great for you. The last several years have been better for you. Overall, let's just take the last 7 years. How has the tool worked for you?
It's been great for me. I have a long-term strategy and a short-term. My long-term strategy is more about my retirement, and I've averaged about 5% per month. Over the last 7 years, which is a lot better than what the banks are paying you. Most of them won't pay you 5% a year, let alone 5% per month profit. And then short term, I've done a lot better than that. And I actually tweet my results on Twitter, so people can follow me there if they want to know more details.
You know, I have to tell you, in these economic times, a lot of people, as you know, are shying away from the stock market. And the reality is it really is not right for everybody, right?
You're exactly correct. You're exactly correct. Stock market is really way too risky for certain people. If you're somebody who trades based on emotion, I keep bringing up that term emotion because that's something that's really been dominant for an average investor. But if you trade based on emotion, if you trade based on the latest stock tip, the latest celebrity who's telling you what you should invest in without having an understanding of why you're choosing your investments, or if you don't have a risk management plan, the stock market is way too risky for that type of person. In fact, your odds are better in Vegas. So.
And I know that you cater specifically, not specifically, but primarily to women.
Yes.
Why is it important for you to help women?
Well, what I've found with helping women, I like to provide a unique experience that women can benefit. I mean, my retreats are more like you feel like on a vacation. And I offer certain things that the guys typically don't really care about. The information is the same as if I were coaching a guy, but it's just an experience, unique experience where women can feel comfortable asking questions that they might not feel comfortable asking in a mixed crowd. And I just want them to have fun and reassociate the definition of the stock market with something that's more relaxing, as opposed to the stress that typically is involved with money.
Well, very good advice. I thank you so much for being here and sharing it with us on the show this morning, Aneshia.
Thank you so much, Danielle. Appreciate it.
Absolutely. And again, the ebook is called Wealth Wisdom for Ladies. To order a copy or for more information on Aneshia, please visit her website. It is itati.typepad.com.